The Path of Kriya Yoga, Video 5. Kriya Yoga, Lineage of Masters. In this video, we'll just look at the lineage from which Paramahansa Yogananda descended. To begin with, we had Babaji. Babaji, there's not much known about Babaji, except that he appeared in manifested form to Lahiri Mahasaya in the foothills of the Himalayas. He's said to be timeless, eternal, to represent absolute reality in manifested form. So there's nothing known about his origins, his family background, or his even his original name. But we do know that Lahiri Mahasaya, at the age of 33, went on a work trip to the foothills of the Himalayas. And when he went there, he realized that the whole thing had been organized by Babaji as a way of summoning him into his presence. So Lahiri Mahasaya spent a week or so in Babaji's company, where he relearned the techniques of Kriya Yoga and he mastered them. And then with Babaji's authorization, he returned to his family in Varanasi, and he continued his life as a householder. He was married and he had 5 children, and he fulfilled his duties as a householder, all the while offering instruction in Kriya Yoga and initiating devotees into Kriya Yoga. Swami Sri Yukteswar was one of Sri Lahiri Mahasaya's students, disciples, or devotees. He had been married and had a child with his wife, but after her passing, he received initiation by Sri Lahiri Mahasaya and practiced for 10 years or so before he was ordained as a Swami. He received authorization to initiate others into Kriya Yoga, and so he became the master of Paramahansa Yogananda. Paramahansa Yogananda met Swami Sri Yukteswar at a young age, the age of 14 I believe, and then spent the best part of 10 years studying under the guidance of his master Sri Yukteswar in his ashram. In 1920, Paramahansa Yogananda, as already mentioned, travelled to the USA, and then in 1925 he set up the headquarters for Self-Realization Fellowship in Mount Washington in Los Angeles. My own teacher then, Roy Eugene Davis, travelled at the age of 18 from his hometown in Ohio to Mount Washington in Los Angeles, and there he received initiation into the Kriya Yoga tradition by Paramahansa Yogananda. Later he was authorized to initiate others into the Kriya Yoga tradition. After the passing of Paramahansa Yogananda, after his Mahasamadhi, Roy decided that he'd like to get a taste of the world, to experience a bit of life. And so he left Self-Realization Fellowship for a time. And on his return, he realized that the policy within SRF was that anybody who was going to be instructing Kriya Yoga would be a Swami. Their lives would be dedicated to being a monk. But Roy didn't want this, and so it was thought best that he do his own thing. So Roy founded his own center, the Center for Spiritual Awareness, which is located in Lakemont in Georgia. And for the best part of 70 years before his own passing, Roy committed himself to sharing the teachings of Kriya Yoga. And if you'd like to read about Roy's own experiences with Paramahansa Yogananda, you can read his book entitled Paramahansa Yogananda as I Knew Him. And I'll put a link to the book below in the description.